Welcome back to my channel. In this lecture we'll dive into while loop. A while loop in Python is a control flow statement that allows code to be executed repeatedly based on a given Boolean condition. The while loop continues to execute as long as the condition evaluates to true. Once the condition evaluates to false, the loop stops, and the program continues with the next statement after the loop. There are two components in while loop. First one is condition, a Boolean expression that is evaluated before each iteration of the loop. If the condition is true, the code block inside the loop is executed. If the condition is false, the loop terminates. Second one is code block, a block of code that is indented under the while statement, which will be executed repeatedly as long as the condition is true. Initialized a variable number to 1. While loop condition set to less than and equal to 5. Print number in each iteration from 1 to till condition is true. Number plus equal to 1 will increment in number variable by 1 in each iteration. Countdown timer program in Python using while loop. Initialized a variable countdown to number 5. Set while loop condition to greater than 0 mean loop will not terminate until number not reached to 0. Print countdown number in each iteration. Countdown number will be decreased by 1 in each iteration and at the end of loop print go. Sum of numbers program in Python using while loop. Initialized a variable total with value 0. Variable number to 1. While condition set for number less than equal to 10. In total number will be added in each iteration of while loop. Number will be increased by 1 in each iteration. Then total will be printed at then end of loop. Python factorial calculation by using while loop. Number is an integer variable will take a number from user. This line initializes a variable named factorial and sets its value to 1. Factorial will be used to store the result of the factorial calculation. While loop that will continue to run as long as number is greater than 0. A while loop repeatedly executes the block of code inside it as long as the specified condition, number is 0, is true. This line is inside the while loop and will be executed repeatedly as long as number is greater than 0. It multiplies the current value of factorial by number and stores the result back in factorial. Number minus equals to 1 decreases the value of number by 1. Displays the text factorial, followed by the value of factorial. Input, enter the number of terms. Prompts the user to enter the number of terms for the Fibonacci sequence. This line initializes two variables n1 and n2 with the values 0 and 1, respectively. These variables represent the first two terms of the Fibonacci sequence. Count will keep track of the number of terms generated so far. This line checks if the value of n is less than or equal to 0. If the condition is true, the code inside the if block will execute. If n is less than or equal to 0, this line prints a message asking the user to enter a positive number. This line checks if n is exactly equal to 1. If the condition is true, the code inside the elif block will execute. If n is 1, this line prints the message, Fibonacci sequence up to 1 to 0. Since there's only one term, it prints n1, which is 0. This line handles the case where n is greater than 1. The code inside the else block will execute if neither of the previous conditions were true. This line starts a while loop that will continue to execute as long as count is less than n. The loop generates the Fibonacci sequence up to the specified number of terms. Prints the current value of n1. n1 is the current term in the Fibonacci sequence. This line calculates the next term in the sequence. Nth is the sum of n1 and n2. Line 14 updates n1 to the value of n2. It prepares n1 for the next iteration. This line updates n2 to the value of nth. It prepares n2 for the next iteration. This line increments the value of count by 1. It tracks the number of terms that have been printed so far. For input number of terms 7. You can see the output. You can mention your questions in comments section please. This program will check user entered number is a prime number or not. Please see the program code and execution, and if have any question or difficulty you can mention in the comments section. Comparison table highlighting the key differences and similarities between for and while loops in Python. In Python, a for loop is ideal for iterating over a known sequence, such as a list, tuple, string, or range, with syntax for variable in sequence, and automatic handling of iterations and sequence termination. Conversely, a while loop, with syntax while condition, is best suited for scenarios where the number of iterations is not predetermined, relying on explicit condition checks and manual controlled variable updates. Use for loops for finite and fixed iterations, while loops excel in indefinite iterations based on dynamic conditions. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and comment your questions in comment section.